Idi Amin, since 1971, the undisputed ruler of Uganda. That looks like Amin. It isn't. He is Amin's double. Amin, like Churchill and Hitler and Montgomery, uses a double for ceremonial and security reasons. Amin handles the diplomatic functions, and his double goes to the less important ones, those out in the countryside where some unfriendly soul might try to kill Uganda's president for life and commander-in-chief. This is Uganda, about the size of Oregon, a fifth of it covered by water and swamps. It is primitive and beautiful, and is still filled with wild animals, those that haven't been killed for food. There are 40 different tribes, and 90% of the people live off the land, fishing, farming, and raising cattle. For most of the people, thanks to Amin's rule, life has gotten infinitely worse. This is Uganda, Kampala, the modern capital, built by the British before they left in 1962. It used to be a thriving city. It is now the capital of a country whose economic growth goes down every year. Inflation runs 50% a year, but that doesn't matter much since the currency is worthless anyway. The only thing thriving in Uganda is the black market. That has left some of the people less than happy with Idi Amin, and he claims there have been 24 attempts on his life. That figure may be inflated, but at least 7 attempts, the latest only 2 months ago, can be documented. To protect himself from his enemies, real and imagined, Amin relies on his police, not the uniformed force, but the 2,000-man public safety unit, whose cars have UVX license plates, and the 3,000-man State Research Bureau, whose cars are marked with UVS plates. The S-men can be spotted by their dark glasses, worn day and night. They are the goons of Uganda. They whip around the country, kidnapping and killing anyone Amin decides is an enemy. They pick people up off the streets in broad daylight, jam them into the trunks of their cars, and drive off. It has been reported that S-men occasionally do some kidnapping and killing for private profit, but most of their work is for Amin. Their job is to get rid of his enemies.
The reason why I am popular in Africa and the people call me that I am king of Africa, one, because I am straightforward. Two, I am not afraid of anybody who make a mistake to point out his mistake.
Having a mistake pointed out by Amin is often a fatal experience. Those in Uganda whose mistakes Amin has noticed usually wind up like this. Amnesty International says that in the almost 8 years Amin has ruled, he has had 50,000 to 300,000 Ugandans murdered. They include every member of his first cabinet who did not flee the country, every Ugandan who ever represented a foreign company, political leaders, educators, unhappy students, members of opposing tribes, and thousands of Christians. His best-known victim was Archbishop Luwum, head of the Ugandan Anglican Church. He and 2 other men were arrested in March 1977, charged with treason. They died, but Amin insisted they died trying to escape when their car, with unexplained UVS plates, crashed into a Land Rover. Not even Luwum's family was allowed to see his body before burial. But for some, Idi Amin has been a godsend. The members of Amin's own tribe, the Kakwa, used to be poor, powerless Muslim nomads, a tiny minority in Uganda. Amin is making them businessmen and civil servants, and for the first time, the Kakwa have power. And what decent man would forget the old hometown? Amin is transforming his village, Koboko, into a modern city. No one has yet figured out what good that is going to do, but Amin wants it, and in Uganda, that's the best reason you can have. The transportation system is all but collapsed. Industry is closed for lack of spare parts. Education is a joke. There aren't any jobs, and there is no government economic plan of any kind. But Koboko is being turned into a modern city, even if the apartments stand empty after they're built. Idi Amin tours Uganda by helicopter, dropping in on carefully orchestrated celebrations that usually include special songs of praise to President for Life Amin. He is said to enjoy them. Amin prefers to travel around Uganda by helicopter for 3 reasons. Dropping out of the sky like that tends to impress the locals. The roads are just terrible anyway. And most importantly, it makes it hard for his enemies to get to him. The decorations would be more impressive had Amin not awarded them to himself. He did serve in Burma during World War II with the 4th King's African Rifles. When he took power in January 1971, he gave himself the awards for that service. No one has ever accused Amin of excessive modesty.
This is the hero of Africa.
Well, not to everyone. Snipers once tried to kill him as his convoy moved along this road. Amin escaped unharmed. His Secret Service escort moved in and killed everyone who lived beside the road. Amin still goes out and mixes with friendly tribes, but he is surrounded by his strongarm squad, and he does not go to as many functions as Ugandans think he does. We do not know exactly when Amin found or started to use his double, but he uses him now. We do not know the double's name, but we do know he speaks Swahili. And the 2 men's physical appearance is remarkably similar.
In the English language, so that
the biggest difference is Amin's ability to speak some English. This is the double. Amin is slightly darker, somewhat heavier, and his teeth are less even. But using the double leaves Amin safer and more secure and gives him time to plan for the future. And he does have plans.
the heads of state, when they are with me, I will be in position to educate them to become progressive leader like me.
Idi Amin once claimed that the crocodiles listened to him and did what he said. They did not, of course, but it's easy to understand how he could make that mistake. Animals usually do obey those who feed them.